Hi, this is Darren Drew, D. Drew Guitars. Okay, going up from the last place I left, I've unclamped my neck. And so what I've done was I cleaned off the sides of the glue on the sides and got it almost perfect all the way down on both sides. And I used my drum sander, flat master right here. And then I did the same thing on the fretboard. I used my flat master first to make the fretboard nice and flat. And then, like I always do with everything, to get it, I know 100% perfectly flat, is I use my table saw with the cast iron top and work it back and forth. Obviously, it was the other way around, but I don't want to scratch the board now. And then just you work it back and forth, and you count how many times you're going in each direction, so that, and then you'll spin it around and then do it the same amount of times. That way you're getting a consistent flat surface, instead of, if you just keep it in one direction, then it's gonna slightly go from one side to the other and you won't make it flat. You'll make it have a, little bit, it won't be flat, which you want. So you want it to be consistent flat all the way across from end to end. And the best way to do that is count the number of strokes back and forth and then flip it around and do it again. So then I had my fretboard completely flat, and I'll check it with I will even check it with a straight edge. This one here is machine straight edge. The best way to do it is put it up here like this and hold it up to the light, and you'll see if there's any light that goes underneath. You want to basically go all the way across with it. So then once I have this completely flat, this is the tricky part to do on when you're going to radius a fretboard. Okay, see, I have it so it's blocked here just so that it helps, it's not as far away from me at the very end. And I will try and hold it down on this end. And you want to make nice, very long strokes all the way up and back. And with this, you also want to count. Say you do 10 or 15 strokes back and forth, and then you'll want to flip it around, dust off your debris, keep it nice and clean, and then use your radiusing block. And this is a 12 degrees radiusing block. You can see most electric guitars are 12 degrees. And you'll be able to start seeing where you are standing and where you're not. It's going to hit the outer edges first, obviously. And this is the part that's really tricky. You'll want to stay straight behind it, go forward and back, and just your body weight can even be enough pressure that you're putting onto it. And then do it like 10 times back and forth, flip it around, and then do it another, 10 times this direction. And that way it's going to give it more of an even flat. You're not going to make it go rounded like this from side to side. And you'll want to check it every single time to make sure that it's not diving on one corner or the other corner. And, it takes a lot of skill and practice to do this by hand like this, but it's the only way that you can do it. I can do it at home. And you can see that mine is pretty darn good. And so you'll want to do that until it starts getting all the way back here, all the way across. Take your time, take patience, and like I said, let your body work kind of do the work for you as you're going back and forth with your block. And then, I just use these sanding pads. This one's like 120, going down to like 220, just put it on the radiusing block and then do it like this and just get it down to this far really is all you need to go right now with it, because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to this neck. And you don't want to, get this perfect yet, because you're going to have to end up polishing it again later. So what I would do right now is I will tape it off with some blue painter's tape just to protect it so I don't scratch it, because my next step involved with this will be rounding the back of the neck, which that'll be a different video. I like to keep my videos nice and short as possible. But you got to admit, this fretboard is looking pretty badass. How I do my stripes and stuff. With this wood, it's really hard to tell, but I tried to get it to where my grain matches from one stripe to the other. Let me see if I can find a good place on here. You know, it's kind of difficult, but here you can kind of see it. See, like from one of the stripes to the other one. See how it grain matches there, and then same with it right here. It matches, and it should also match pretty darn close. This wood is really crazy to this part out here. By the time I get it done, it will flow right in, and you know, you'll see the binding on this because this wood is just so crazy. This honey locust, and so, you know, that's really fine details that most people don't notice. I like to do that in my work because I like to be a step above most other people's stuff, and that's just really trick stuff that most people won't ever notice. But to me, that's the only way to do it. And one of the first things I forgot to mention was I will always put as soon as I unclamp it, I will check my truss rod to make sure it's free and working properly. You know, with the screwdriver, work it back and forth, you know, and this one works just fine. And you'll want to put this in the neutral position so it's not putting pressure up or down on the neck before I start making this nice and flat. That way I can go just as far in either direction with the truss rod once it's all assembled and on the guitar and stuff and has strings on it. But yeah, pretty badass looking fretboard, huh? With the stripes, I think so. I've done quite a few of them like this now, and you know, once it's all shined and polished and the frets are in it, which I'm going to use Gold Evo frets, it's just going to look amazing. I usually try to get as black as ebony as I can find, but you know, without shopping firsthand, shipping for it, it's hard to get really nice black. You know, but that's what it's going to look like so far. So this is Darren Drew. Please like and please subscribe, and I will show you some more guitar building woodworking tips and tricks later. Next one. Thank you. Bye.